Action and knowledge are not obstacles to each other. All are gurus to us. The wicked by their evil deeds say, "Do not come near me." The good are always good. Therefore all are like gurus to us. Action. You can only stop the flow of thoughts by refusing to have any interest in it. There is nothing like within or without. Both mean either the same thing or nothing. Eventually, all that one has learnt will have to be forgotten. When one remains without thinking, one understands another by means of the universal language of silence. When the mind that is subtle goes out through the brain and the sense organs, the gross names and forms appear. When it stays in the heart, the names and forms disappear. Remaining quiet is what is called wisdom insight. To remain quiet is to resolve the mind in the self. Happiness is your nature. It is not wrong to desire it. What is wrong is seeking it outside when it is inside. It will come all right in the end. Let what comes come. Let what goes go. Find out what remains. Pleasure and pain are only aspects of the mind. Our essential nature is happiness. Remain still, with the conviction that the self shines as everything. Yet nothing, within, without, and everywhere. The purpose of all these illustrations is to direct the seeker's mind towards the one reality underlying them all. The real is as it is always. We are not creating anything new or achieving something which we did not have before. All unhappiness is due to the ego. With it comes all your trouble. If you would deny the ego and scorch it by ignoring it, you would be free. It is not wrong to desire it. What is wrong is seeking it outside when it is inside. It will come all right in the end. Let what comes come. Let what goes go. Find out what remains. Pleasure and pain are only aspects of the mind. Our essential nature is happiness. Remain still, with the conviction that the self shines as everything. Yet nothing, within, without, and everywhere. The purpose of all these illustrations is to direct the seeker's mind towards the one reality underlying them all. The real is as it is always. We are not creating anything new or achieving something which we did not have before. All unhappiness is due to the ego. With it comes all your trouble. If you would deny the ego and scorch it by ignoring it, you would be free. All that is required to realize the self is to be still. The only useful purpose of the present birth is to turn within and realize the self. To perform one's duty is the greatest service to God. Your true nature is that of infinite spirit. The feeling of limitation is the work of the mind. The inquiry, "Who am I?" is the principal means to the removal of all misery and the attainment of the supreme bliss. The greatest obstacle to enlightenment is getting past your delusion that you are not already enlightened. The man who prays, the prayer, and the God too, whom he prays all have reality only as manifestations of the self. The power that created you has created the world as well. If it can take care of you, it can similarly take care of the world also. If God has created the world, it is His business to look after it, not yours. Silence is truth, silence is bliss, silence is peace, and hence silence is the self. Realization is not acquisition of anything new, nor is it a new faculty. It is only removal of all camouflage. If you go on working with the light available, you will meet your master, as he himself will be seeking you. The question, "Who am I?" is not really meant to get an answer. The question, "Who am I?" is meant to dissolve the questioner. Complete surrender does require that you have no desire of your own. That God's desire alone is your desire and that you have no desire of your own. Finally, there comes a stage when a person feels helpless notwithstanding the sadhanas. He is unable to pursue the much-cherished sadhana also. It is then that God's power is realized. The self reveals itself. Grace is ever present. All that is necessary is that you surrender to it. Have faith in God and in yourself that will cure all. Hope for the best. Expect the best. Toil for the best. And everything will come right for you in the end. He who has renounced the "I thought thus" remains the same whether he is alone or in the midst of the extensive samsara. If you hold this feeling of "I" long enough and strongly enough, the false "I" will vanish, leaving only the unbroken awareness of the real, immanent I consciousness itself. All that one gives to others one gives to one's self. If this truth is understood, who will not give to others? Correcting oneself is correcting the whole world. The sun is simply bright. It does not correct anyone. Because it shines, the whole world is full of light. Transforming yourself is a means of giving light to the whole world. As you are, so is the world. You are the Supreme Being, and yet thinking yourself to be separate from it. You strive to become united with it. Your own self-realization is the greatest service you can render the world. Mind your business. Take care of what you came here for. Find the I first and you may afterwards speak of other matters. Peace is the inner nature of humankind. If you find it within yourself, you will then find it everywhere. Unless one is happy, one cannot bestow happiness on others. Wanting to reform the world without discovering one's true self is like trying to cover the world with leather to avoid the pain of walking on stones and thorns. If the light of the sun is invisible to the owl, it is only the fault of that bird and not of the sun. If the mind falls asleep, awaken it. Then if it starts wandering, make it quiet. If you reach the state where there is neither sleep nor movement of mind, stay still in that, the natural real state. No one succeeds without effort. Those who succeed owe their success to perseverance. The self cannot be found in books, you have to find it for yourself, within yourself. Thoughts come and go. Feelings come and go. Find out what it is that remains. The revelation or intuition arises in its own time and one must wait for it. The ultimate truth is so simple, it is nothing more than being in one's natural, original state. The world is not outside you. There is neither creation nor destruction. Neither destiny nor free will. Neither path nor achievement. This is the final truth. There is neither past nor future. There is only the present. Whatever is destined not to happen will not happen, try as you may. Whatever is destined to happen will happen. Do what you may to prevent it. This is certain. The best course, therefore, is to remain silent. You are already that which you seek.